Howdy folks, I'm Keith Bowen. This is Hard Rock University. We're back at Montana B here, and I finally got that stupid Sawzall in the mail. And so primary job right now is to get this timbering here repaired so that we don't have stuff like that where it just comes right down on your head. So that's the primary job, but while I'm up here, I also wanted to examine and sample the structure we call Pack Rat Penthouse at a higher level and see what it looks like as it outcrops. Now it's down there about where the wall comes in next to the ladder, and it would have been easy to go down the ladder if the pack rats hadn't gnawed off the rope. Now I was kind of suspecting they might do that. It was just a cheap rope anyhow, and I left it hanging, among other things, just to see what would happen to it. And in fact, they like that nice fluffy nylon for their nests. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll have to go down there and trace it back up, but the pack rat structure comes right along underneath that kind of dark gray layer there, which I believe is dolomite. I'll be checking that out in a few minutes here. The lighting's changing quickly, so I want to get this videoed before I get too much ambient light here. Now here is the sequence where the I don't know, this is almost a portal or almost a collar. Anyhow, the upper entrance to the decline is, and I can show you not only what the sequence looks like, but also what it looks like before it was mined. I mean, what are you going to be looking at if you were looking for another one over there? Because there's a working on top of the hill there. There's another one that way, about 1,500 feet. There's another one beyond on that, about 600 feet. And they all have these similar structures at about the same elevation in the strata between these quartzite layers going this way, high iron, blackish color. That seems to be the key. Now, this entire ridge is a bunch of sedimentary rocks that's tipped up at 60 degrees roughly. There you can see the layering, and that's at about 60 degrees from vertical when we're looking down that. That'll give you an idea there. And what we have here, this is quartzite. It's a sedimentary quartzite. It means quartz sand that's glued together. This is a pretty decent thickness of it, and it's good and solid. And that gives you that really big, hard hanging wall there. That's a pretty good hanging wall to be able to put that much distance, and there's places it's a lot wider than that with very little support. Very good solid stratum. Below that is a much less strong stratum. It looks like a little mudstone to me mixed in basically, but this is weak and you want to remove that so that things aren't slabbing. If this was hanging from this as your hanging wall, this is going to tend to slab off and wind up on your head, which is a bad thing. So you want to make sure you mine through the weak strata so that you don't have that issue. This would be that dark gray structure, and here is a bit of a mess. This is where it gets really confused Not just confusing, but confused. It's just not consistent. And here's an example of what you have to look for when you come back after winter. You don't want that stuff falling on you. Now here's the structure we named Pack Rat Penthouse, because down there's a little tunnel in there and it's just big pack rat midden. And this is very iron rich, about 30% iron. And it's also high grade gold ore. Not, bonanza grade or anything. If you look over here, you can see some pillars. You can see just how big and solid this hanging wall is. So let me work my way up here and follow the structure. And I'm going to have to edit this together because I got to use both hands at times. But there's Pack Rat Penthouse. Going up, you can see the hanging wall, that loose structure, the black, another loose structure. And then there's this just messed up zone that has the high grade in it. Here we are about 10 feet further up and 10 feet from surface. And you can see there's the hanging wall, that weak structure, as it looks like mudstone, shale. Then I think that's dolomite. And there's another kind of weak discontinuity. And then you've got this messy zone here. Right here, I don't see any of the porous iron oxides that seem to be what carries the gold. There, on the other hand, you're seeing more of it. Let me see if I can get a little closer here. It's kind of a porous iron oxide. That little pocket there, and it pinches off again. And there it comes to surface between those two rocks on top of each other and those two rocks. That's the zone that contains the ore pockets. So let's go up there and see what it looks like on surface. And in case you're curious, yes, I am tied off. Even though that that ladder's pretty secure now. So here is that zone that contains the ore pockets. This material here doesn't look much like ore to me. Right down here was a little pocket of this, which looks a lot more like ore to me. So I think we've got this just hugely discontinuous mess, but it's this zone here that we're looking for. And big quartzite structure, thin discontinuous, shale, dolomite, shale, mess. That's the sequence we're looking for. So let me get back to timbering now. Okay, I've now got this piece braced solidly. Got the far end secured. Now it's time to get this material out of here. Put another cross piece in here. Probably put a block in there to hold it. And continue on from there. As you can see, this is just all kind of messed up, so I'm going to have to do whatever it takes to get it unmessed up. Okay, so I've got it cleaned down to bedrock and good timber there. Now I got to start filling in the gaps. I got plenty of timber here. I don't think it'll be a problem. I'm actually quite impressed with my ability to get that rock out by myself. It was all jammed in there where that strap's hanging down. You can see the problem with the old lagging and what I'm doing to fix it. You got to support the bottom of it. So I may even kick that over just a little more to get better support and then bury it again. Progress is going pretty good. Well, there we go. It's fugly, but it's solid. All the holes are done. The giant rock has been replaced. And we're ready to get back to sampling now. So, yeehaw. A little closer up this pack rat structure here. This is the zone in which the high grade appears to manifest itself. This would be footwall. And this rock here came from right there. This rock, on the other hand, well, it's not the black, gorgeous looking stuff from down deep. Let's see what happens when we take this one, which literally was right there in the middle of the structure, and whackify it. First of all, you can hear it's softer. It's got a lot of iron in it. And that is what I would expect for pack rat. But notice on the outside, if this is what you're looking at on surface, you're not going to see it too well. It's also softer. See how the quartzite there sticks out, and whatever this is here, I think it's also quartzite. They're more durable, so the vein is actually going to disappear in and not going to outcrop very well, making it very hard to find. We're going to try stuff like metal detectors on this and see if we can get a good thing. Now this little vein right here, it even smells like sulfide. Look at how dark that is. Now, I don't know what's going on here. I'm afraid that this is not good ore, but hoping it is. So I'll take a sample of it home also, and we shall see. Then I will go down in here and sample the pack rat structure at a much tighter spacing than I have earlier, now that we've got a good idea where the good stuff is. And then I'll go up there and do the same thing for the middle decline. Now here was a rock laying on surface. I was trying to predict, what do I think that is? And looking at that right there, I said, maybe that's pack rat material. So I broke it up. You can see how the pack rat material on surface tends to get all this white in it. And then there's your footwall, or just wall rock there, it looks like. That looks like potentially that's what you're going to be looking like on surface. Not that blue, black, red, brown material. But more this white. Well, as a thunderstorm moves in here, probably a good time to get off the mountaintop. So I'm going to button this up. I got the critical samples from this decline, and then when that thunderstorm moves on, I'll head up to the middle one. Happy prospecting and keep it safe out there.